4 minutes. I will be quiet here very soon. It's beeping at me, unstable internet connection, so I don't know how well you guys are seeing this, if you're seeing it at all. It settled down. There, good. So just quick, we'll talk a little bit today about reviews at the end in the last couple of minutes. Here, do this. So I'm having, if you can't tell, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning, which is the reason yeah, it's the reason why I'm having such a hard time getting things up and operational this morning. So let's just get straight into our sprints, and I'll see you on the other side of this 25 minutes. Good morning, everyone. That is our first sprint. So unfortunately, I'm having major technical difficulties this morning. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay on for the rest of the sprints. Feel free to rewatch any of my old videos if you want to continue this morning. But I did promise to talk about reviews and reviewers. It's a really messy topic. And I'm going to lead with, this is my personal opinion. None of this is any kind of advice in regards to legal or all of that stuff. Please utilize it or don't utilize it as you see fit for your best interests. Utilize any programs, always read the fine print, so on and so forth. Plain fact, good morning, better days. Thank you for being here, Easy Graphics. Reviews are really hard, like I was saying yesterday. And there's a number of places that advertise that if you do an arc with them or you pay them so much, then they'll send it out to their readers and their readers may review you. But that, to keep it from being a pay-per-play service, which is illegal on all of these different sites. I mean, not illegal in the sense of they're going to come after you, but illegal in the sense that it's against the fine print. Or black hat, or whatever you want to call it. The people that are receiving the books that are being used by this service don't actually get any of the money. So they're doing it for their own reasons, either because they like the book or they liked the title, and what you're paying for is it to be shown to them. Which, if I'm going to pay for my book to be shown to people for review purposes, then I want to get as much out of that as possible. And so when it comes to reviews, outside of your initial ARC team, which there's tons of things out there that talk about ARC teams, how to build them, how to get people on them. Lead magnets that you give away for free are one of the best ways to build that. I built my email that way by having a reader magnet that I gave away for free. And I just recently finished another one, and I'm going to be giving that one away free. Don't just post, like, there's a difference between posting your book perma-free online to attract people in and having a free reader magnet. Free reader magnets, you only want to be available if they sign up for your stuff. Waiting for it to come back up. Okay, there we go. So, which is the first book in his author series. He has sold over 30,000 copies of that at full price. And yet he has only given away a little over a K of copies. Even though that's his reader magnet. Like, you could get it for free if you sign up for my email list, is in the rest of his books. But people are still buying that to get into his series, and so it's not that great of a reader magnet and hasn't been very beneficial for his list building. So in that regard, having something specifically for your audience that they're going to like, that they're going to need, that they want to know, something shorter, something you can produce faster than an actual novel. Not as long as a novel. You don't want to give away that much. But a good-sized book. A novella level for fiction is always good. A short manual on a pain point for nonfiction is always good. And then once you have that list, then you take the list and you see how many are super fans, and from the super fans, you're like, hey, you want my novels early, please review. Both ways that you can send that out. Unfortunately, I received it and what to move forward with. Yes. I actually was talking with a writer on a panel that so there you go. I am completely willing to stand in a line for an author that I love, just to get to talk to them for 2 minutes, over, television stars. So, what can I say? I fangirl over writers. That said, she was totally fangirling in this chat. That's your super fans. Someone that wants to buy everything you put out, that's really interested in your work. I have some writers that I'm like, hey, if they put anything new out, it's on my list. Whether that's my library list or that's my, 1 or 2 books that are outside of my writing budget. Because I have a reading budget that I keep to be able to keep up with my genre. So that's really important too. Because you can look at other things in your genre and the people that are reviewing on them, and some of them do that. Like, they review a specific genre and you can contact them. That was a thing that people used to do. I don't know if it's still a thing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it is a thing. The other big thing, and I was saying the difference between BookFunnel and Story Origin. Story Origin actually tracks whether or not they post it, how many other people they have posted reviews for, and where they post it, so that you're not just left hanging. And one of the things I love about that is if you can get people on an ARC list in Story Origin, then you can find out if these people just want serial-free books or if they're actually interested in reviewing books. And you don't get that on any other platform that I know of. So that's, and second thing, and this save time. So just like how Draft to Digital, you can preset all of your metadata in the beginnings and back of your books. Again, don't necessarily recommend it for everyone, but it saves on a lot of time and formatting for people that just want to go that way. Story Origin sends out all of the ARC follow-ups. Yeah, and right now, Story Origin, I think until, it might have ended, but it might be till the end of the month, you can get 30% off for life. So instead of being $100 a year, it's only $70 a year right now. Now, I'm not pushing it. That is not an advertisement. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm just weighing funnel, and I have Story Origin. I pay $150 a year for BookFunnel because I've built an ARC team on it. I have everything's loaded there, and I've used it time and again to build my list, and so it's very helpful for me personally. But a lot of BookFunnel stuff is really geared towards romance. I mean, I've been on lists like for promotional purposes that say no romance and no, sexy men covers, specifically because they don't want that. And those types of things are very few and far between. And I don't do romance. There's romantic interests in my books, but they're not the lead point. I very much do the genre that I am in, not romance in the genre that I am in. Whereas what I've found with Story Origin is a lot of the scientific, science, sci-fi, and fantasy communities have really gotten in there and gotten stuff. And so it's not so heavily leaning towards romance yet. Everything leans towards romance eventually. But the price difference with the discount right now is like half of what BookFunnel is. Hidden Gems, I think, is its own program, separate. I don't know it as well, so I can't really speak to it. Easy Graphics, if there's anything you want to write about it, go right ahead. So going back to Story Origin, I really like it for the price point, for the discount. Right now it's really good. If you want to try it for free to check out all the bells and whistles, I think they have a level for that. But again, not pushing it, not promoting it. Don't get any points or no links to click to. Just information. So outside of creating your own list and having an email list and all of that fun stuff, the only other way that I have ever seen people get reviews on a book regularly is through advertising. Yeah. It's more, Story Origin is more about list building, but their reviews through your list is the best that I've seen of any of the platforms. So I know this is going to sound crazy, but one of the people that I have seen would go into different chats or groups and ask people, hey, my book is on a free promotion this week. Can you go over here and read it? And if you did post a review, that would be awesome. But, no have-tos. Just want to give it to you for free. And she's given away hundreds of copies, but she's also gotten hundreds of reviews. So weigh that out. The other thing that you can do is put your money into advertising. If you put your money into advertising, if you get enough people that like your book, one of them will review it. So it's all about really whether it's reviews or if it's super fans or if it's any of these things, we're really always talking about promotion and advertising. And whether you're paying Amazon directly per click for people to look at your page and then buy and then read and then review, yes. Yeah, look at all of that. So Easy Graphics wrote, absolutely need to try getting into Facebook groups to try this, but I write under a pen name. I guess we have to set up a Facebook page and join groups and contact admins and see if we can promote our books. Yes. It's not. So Easy Graphic also writes, promoting and marketing campaigns worked her backside off to get people on my list, to get people on my ARC team, to weekly email through a launch my ARC team, to try to do that follow-up with. One time I did it with a program that was not all that great. One time I did it with a program that was all that great. And yet, after all of those switches, after all of those writer exchanges, by the way, that's another way to work on this, is a writer exchange where you agree to promote their book to your list however you want to promote it. It's not, you don't have to say something that you don't want to, and then they agree to promote your book to their list, and then the hope is that you'll get cross traffic. Like, your list like sci-fi, let's switch off, and hopefully your list and my list don't have the same people on it. That's the hope. Uh, and in the process, one of them might buy or like it enough to read the free and then review it. But again, I'm going to go back to the like Amazon and direct marketing. I don't recommend marketing with Facebook. That is just throwing money down a hole. Some people have really good success with it, but it takes a lot of work. A lot. That is get courses, lots of money. Amazon, on the other hand, there was a really good Amazon course that just opened up. I think it ends today or tomorrow that you can sign up for it. It's pretty expensive, but you don't really need that to start with. Just getting your feet in the water. If you can use your Amazon promoting to get your book out to people, that, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to do it, because if you start them off even with a 99-cent book, anything that's not free, there's that automatic, I paid for this, therefore I'm going to read this. I took the effort and time. This is my money on the line, so I'm going to get some return with this. What I have found with the free giveaways is that it doesn't garner much. It doesn't garner super fans, because there are people out there that just want the free and the free and the free and the free and the free, and they can always get more free. I even got one review on one of my books once that basically said, I got the free book, and yeah, it didn't interest me enough to want to pay for her next one. Which was the whole point of the free book. So I was like, oh, shoot me in the heart. And that's the risk you run when you put perma-free out there. That's the risk you run when you give away to build your list. You know, people are. Easy Graphics wrote, some reviewers are so rude. Laugh out loud. Yeah. I mean, and when that's only one of 3 reviews on your book, after you have spent hundreds of dollars in marketing and hours of your time. Yes, story origin, you have to drive traffic yourself. Like I said, it's about list building and ARC team development. So see that as you will. I just found that because BookFunnel, you have to drive the traffic yourself. They just don't have the kind of follow-up that Story Origin does. And I know that sounds hard. I know that it's not easy. It's not a click button system. None of this is. I have done it now on 13 different books that I have launched, not just for myself. And you can easily self-sabotage. I had a writer who launched a book, and the book was selling, and the book was doing well, and the writer freaked out and demanded that it be put on perma-free. And the result of that was that it tanked the entire launch. And even though he or she had good reviews, and a whole base of people who were interested in their work, all of that went down the drain in less than a week because they got scared of marketing. And I think that that's something that we need to recognize as authors, that yes, reviews and reviewers are scary. What they leave on our books is never going to be 100% nice. People are going to be people. And there are errors, even in large production, multiple edited Tom Clancy books. And if we stop putting ourselves out there, if we stop doing what we're doing, if we focus 100% on the outcome and not the accomplishments of the steps, we will tank and we will lose the joy that we had in creating. And it will cost us in the long run. At some point, the joy of having these in my hand, the joy of having these in my hand has to be what's worth it. No matter what anybody says about these books, no matter what reviews get left or don't get left, whether they say that 90+% of the population doesn't even try. It's kind of like being a pro athlete. If you are an author, you are a pro athlete. You may never make it to the Olympics. You may never sign deals, but you made it to the pros because you actually have material in books. And don't let anyone ever take that from you. Also, never respond to reviewers either. Because their review won't take it from you. Yeah. And they don't. They don't. Yes, sort. Easy graphics, huge topic. Sort reviews by 5 stars first. Yes. And if you don't have any 5 stars, cry in your pillow and just be happy somebody reviewed it. But again, I don't know how long this is going to last. My internet keeps pausing and going in and out today. I apologize. So I'm going to wrap this up in this hour. Yeah. So Easy Graphics brings up, they bought your book, you got paid at least. Yep, and that's how I feel about it. It's also why, for me, the best way to get reviews is have a great book that at the end of it you ask for reviews, and if they are your super fan, if they really like you, if they really like the book, they will leave them. And if you're promoting on Amazon and you're selling your book regularly, whatever level that is, then the reviews will come. And when you get reviews on earlier books, enough people will start to find you. So case in point, there's a writing series that has, let me think about this, 2 whole finished series now. 8 books in one, 4 books in the other. I've been watching this writer for about 3 years. This was not her first series, but it was on market. It was in trend. It was in a hot market. And she writes really well at this point. I mean, she's put out at least 4 book series by the time she was starting to write this one. And so she had a little bit of an audience. She had a little bit of a following. But her first books only had 10, 15, 20 reviews on them 2 years ago. And now, 8 books into one series, 4 books into the other. The launch of the 4th book on the 2nd series, she got 1,000 reviews in a day. And all of that was organic for the most part. I think she might have an ARC team, because we do. But 1,000 reviews isn't an ARC team. Those are super fans. And they loved the book. It hit all of the notes. And of course, as someone that followed the book, that book hit all of the notes. Yeah, it is. And see, it never comes easy. And you might not be getting the reviews now, but let's say you finish this couple of super fans, you have a good ARC team. And I know we're talking a lot of books. But you have that base and they get you the 25, 30 reviews on your next book that launches it because that's what it takes to get into, you know, BookBub and all of those places and different things that launch it to that next level. And you get there, and suddenly people are seeing your books, and your fan base expands, and your launch of your books equals good morning, Morningstar. We're about to wrap up. We're talking about reviews, and you put out a book and it's amazing, and that fan base that loves you and loves what you're putting out puts up 1,000 reviews in a day. Super, super awesome. Super amazing. And it does happen. And it does happen to indies. This is someone who is KDP only for her digital books, who also does audiobooks, which is how I found her, through the library. So she goes wide with audiobooks and print books. And her print books are available on Amazon and Ingram Spark, which is how she got into libraries. And her audiobooks are on Overdrive. And that's how she got a library audience and got in there. But if you want to wait for her print books, so she releases digital, then print, then audio. She doesn't release them all three at the same time. And so if you can't wait for the audiobook or the print book to hit your library shelves and be processed, then you can buy your own copy, or you can buy the digital book or read on Kindle Unlimited, which, there you go. I mean, that's a system. And for me personally, that's the system that I'm using right now, is that I'm going wide with, yes. Okay. We can talk. As a librarian, I would be happy to talk about what it takes to get into libraries, how library systems work, and all of that. It's actually a lot easier than most people think, and is a really great place to get reviews. So we'll talk about that next week. How about we put that down for next Tuesday? Half hour talking about libraries for independent authors purposes next Tuesday. So if you have questions about that, come with your questions, because I'll have a little bit of something that I can share, but more important, I think it would be really great to answer the questions that you guys have, or the pain points that you're guys hitting when it comes to libraries. Because libraries can be confusing. They really can. I totally get you, easy graphics. But like Morningstar says, love libraries. Absolutely love them. There's reasons for them. And especially, now, I can only talk to like American development and library systems. I can't speak to England or Canada, and I especially can't speak to Japan. But some of the concepts translate into those countries, but they're a little different because of how those governments work. My internet keeps going in and out on me. I don't even know if you guys are particularly hearing this one. So I am going to call it a morning, but I hope you guys have gotten something out of this. And if nothing else, be encouraged. The reviews, if not to be quoting cheesy movies, but if you build it, they will come. If you build your writing base, if you take the time to build on each of these steps, you're very welcome. It will come. The super fans will find you. It's not a endless process, and it's not a fruitless process. It's just a very long road. And I mean, Vampire Diaries was written before I was born, and it had a good following, but it didn't become popular enough to get its own television show and spin-off until another book launched vampires again. Thank you all for Twilight. And they wanted material. The Bridgerton series, those have been around for a couple of decades now. They are not new books, and they're only getting repopularized because they got picked up for movies. Wattpad has had 3 different series come out of it that got picked up, you know? And think about, like, I can't even get those books in the library right now. They are so, like, the backlist on them is half a year. It will come. It will come. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.